I just want to put a video in, so I'm going to click Save. And this is a good time to point out, remember how you said, oh, look, it gives us our toolbar at the top of the page? Well, that becomes a problem when you want to see what a viewer would see. You're only seeing the toolbar because you're logged in as the owner-manager of this page. So how can we see what the page is actually going to look like to everybody else? Well, like everything else that isn't edit and create a new page, under that gear, there's an option called Preview Page as Viewer. Very handy. I'm going to click Preview Page as Viewer. Do you see what I mean now about having the title display, how it takes up a lot of valuable real estate? So I'm just going to go back, go to the gear, page settings, and disable that show page title. But I often think it's good to allow comments on your pages if it's going to be a page that invites, that you want to create a sense of community. So I like that Google gives me the option to do that on any page. I also have the option to allow attachments. So that could be quite handy if you're Shalavit and she's creating a website where she wants people to be able to attach video to her pages. I'm not going to allow those on my home page though. Usually that would be somewhere in the site itself. So all I did was declick Show Page Title. I want to hide that.
So that allow comments is either on or off?
Yes, and that's page by page. But I think if you toggle it to off, it should stay off for all the other pages you create until you turn it on again.
But there's no comments with approval feature?
Nope. There isn't, but you can give people editing permission, that'll be the last thing that we look at. You can have several people. So if Julie and I are working on this idea and website together, we can each have editing privileges. But we might only give view privileges to other people if we want some general feedback. But notice now my home is gone. I'm even going to go further. I'm going to get rid of that initial hyperlink because I really want to see, and this is a case where I like to go into the HTML to make sure there's no extra code. Look, there is a bit of extra code that's creating another space, so I'm going to get rid of that. Click Update. Save. So it's showing home when I'm in edit mode, but as soon as I click save, that should go away. And I kept the preview open in another tab, but I'll need to reload to see any changes that I just made. And that should now put my video almost completely above the fold. So I really recommend that for the most part, you take advantage of that space. In design, it's that above the fold. It's people being able to read or see your content without having to scroll that's really valuable. And if I did it right, now I should be able to not only play that video from YouTube, but I should also be able to go full screen. How many people ever played a video game on the Atari 2600? Yeah, so that's the last class. So I didn't have to give it all the instructions on how to display video to allow me to go full screen. That just came by default when I copied that code from YouTube. So the same thing for an image. Let's go back. Go back into edit mode. And now I'm just going to insert image under that first column, those common things that you might want to add. And I can either upload an image right from my computer or I can put in the web address. How do I get a web address for an image? So what if I go to Wikimedia Commons? When I'm teaching elementary school students or high school students, I always have them get their images from Wikimedia Commons to get them in the habit of using public domain images rather than something that might require a license. And so I'll just go with the picture of the day. If I right-click, or I'm using a two-finger tap on my Mac because I have multi-touch enabled on my trackpad. You can also use Command-click. What I want to do is just copy the image URL. Every image on the web has an address the same way that every page on the web has an address. I just don't want to take for granted that you know that. In fact, what I'm going to do to show you is I'm going to open window, open image in new tab. So then what it does is actually displays the address for that image. And this is the image at full size. Can zoom out. So let's copy that address. Go back to here, click on web address, and paste that URL. Why is it a good idea for me to put in alt text with every image? What does that alt text do? Any ideas? It's optional. I don't have to do it.
Alternate text. So that it gives you like you can put an email picture of one that has a
Yeah, that's definitely why. So I could say it's photo of island. Let's do it. I'm going to click OK. Now I have some more options once I've put it there. Something I like about Google Sites. I can change the size a bit. I can say I want it large, medium, small. And chances are I'll either want it one of those or the original size. I can also turn wrap on and off. What does that wrap do? If I have text, like here, just going to grab some text from this web page that we already had open. So let's say that this text goes along with this image. If wrap is on, and let's make sure that text actually goes before the image. Oh, so
Way back when.
I was looking at the options. Once I added an image, it gave me some other options.
So did you do upload image when you added the image?
Oh, I did it by the URL. Let me show you. So I did insert image,
Yeah.
and then I clicked on web address.
Okay. All right. That's
Yep.
when I first started.
And that's where I can paste in
Yeah, but then under image URL, I pasted the image or
the address.
link. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't get any OK. Well,
Yeah,
your
no,
OK
I
is
can't
not
press
activated
OK.
either.
Until I paste in, it won't be until I paste in the address. So let's go back to here.
So I just did that.
I'm going to copy the address. Oops.
That can't do either.
But I did that. I copied it.
So you copied the image, you pasted it into here,
Yeah.
But we don't see the picture.
and then it didn't give
You
you...
didn't give us
We don't have the
okay.
picture. It says if
Nor
you
do I
browse
see-
direct to see image preview to your right images will see it.
Oh yeah. So it's still
There-
getting
So
the
it's still
image.
thinking
It
about
could either be trying to get the image, or you might have missed a character when you copied the address. That often happens. Because, like in the case of mine, that was such a long address that it was longer than the address bar.
So
Let's see.
copy. It's save link
So
as or
you
copy
want
link?
to actually copy image location.
Oh, okay. I copied the
Copy
link.
image location or
Yep.
link location?
If you copy image, then you're
Oh.
only copying the title potentially, or some other information. You want to make sure that you're copying location, which I don't like that they use the word location. What it should be
Right.
saying is copy
I
address.
was doing copy link location.
Yeah. So was
And that
it.
doesn't work.
Right, because of the way that Wikimedia Commons has it set up. Although, yeah, I would think that was the right one too if I was just doing it. What I did to avoid that problem is I opened it in a new tab and I copied it right from the address bar.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
And I selected all. I did Control A or Command A to make sure I was getting the whole address,
Oh.
Right, got it.
just to be on the safe side.
So you. I see. Yeah.
So that alt text where I said photo of island, that's really handy for people that can't see. So if a blind person is navigating your website, they have software that will read these descriptions to them, which is really handy. It also helps Google. Google still doesn't necessarily recognize what's inside that photograph. So when Google indexes it and many other search engines, they're using that alt text to recognize what's on that page. So it's a really good practice to always use alt text.